This video is going to be an introduction to shifting. So right now what we're in is a road truck. We're going to do a safe start. To ensure that I'm in a safe start, I'm going to make sure both of these brakes are pulled, that the brakes are on. I'm going to make sure that I'm in neutral. Now I'm going to push in the clutch, and I'm just going to cover over the brake, just in case something would start to move, a clutch malfunction or whatever. I'm going to turn the key to the on position. I'm going to allow it, before I start it, to do a full sweep on all my gauges. Okay. So I'm going to let the torque of the motor carry me. First, I just want to show you that I don't need to give it fuel. But if I do, I need to establish the rule that if my foot is on the clutch, it's never ever touching the fuel. And if it's touching the fuel, it's never ever touching the clutch. They have to be two separate areas. There's also a timing involved, and I'll show you that as we go, that when I push the clutch in, and I have my, I'll put it in gear just to show you. So it's in gear. When I push the clutch in, the same time this moves. You know, same time. It's not independent this and then this. It's together. Together. Alright? I'm always going back for my neutral line. So this is excellent. And I'm only coming out there to feel a catch. After I hold that there just long enough to move about 6 feet, then I can release it all the way. That's something else I want to make sure that you understand. The proper movement style. Again, I'll show you. I'm in gear. I'm stopped. I'm bringing the clutch up to where I just feel it start to catch. I don't want to let it out. Once I feel it, I'll just remove the brake, but I'm holding that clutch still and letting the vehicle move about 6 to 10 feet before I actually let it out. Now, as you can see, it's moving on its own. It's under its own power. The idle will carry me on almost every gear, depending on the weight, hills, things like that. Now, if I want to shift up to second gear, what I would do is I would push in my clutch at the same time, move it just to neutral, release the clutch. Then push it in again and put it into the next gear up. All right? So I'm going to do this and count so that I can learn my timing. I'm going to do it out loud. So here I'm going to go. 1, 2. Slowly let it out. See, it moves a little bit faster. The timing is 1, 2 going up. Let's go to third gear. 1, 2. Carrying it on even more. Notice I haven't even used my fuel at this point. Fuel is just to get it to the next gear quicker. Again, no fuel needed. We're just going to do the 1, 2 timing and move it in one more gear up. And take your time, but say it out loud to get the muscle memory started. 1, 2. Slowly let it out. Allow it to come up to its normal standard. Then I'm out here on the road. I can cancel off my four-ways, and I'm going to continue to go around the outer ring here on private property. I'm in fourth gear. I'm going to go ahead and shift it to fifth. Again, I haven't used my fuel yet. 1, 2. Ease it out slowly, let it grab, and then relax. Now I'm going to go, after I've done the first 5 gears, the switch is always down. Those are called my get gears. It gets me moving. Now I'm going to be getting going. I'm going to flip that switch up ahead of time before I switch, because I know I'm going up. Again, I'm going to do the same pattern of switch. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let it out slowly and start moving. And I can build my speed this way, and notice it gets faster and faster with just the torque in its idle mode each time, each gear higher. Do it again. 1, 2. There's seventh gear. Don't over grip this. Allow it to be free. I tell you, if you're not sure, I just want to put 3, 4 fingers on here to just guide me. Now, I'm going to do my first downshift from 7th back to 6th. This is where I will need a rev of fuel just to help my RPMs come in there and allow that gear to settle. So what I'm going to do is, this is the part that you can take your time at. Real calm and cool. I want you to put it back to neutral. 1. Breathe. Get your fuel. Put it in the lower gear. 6. Take your time. There's no rush to this. Up shifting takes 2 seconds. You must keep it in that timing. Downshifting, you got more time than that because it depends on when I hit the fuel, then I go to my gear. So now I'm going to switch from 6 on the high side. I'm going to flip my switch down because I'm going to go to the low side. Now I'm going to shift back to 5th gear. 1, take a breath. Fuel. 5. Let it in, let the clutch out. Notice how it slows me down. I can go to 4th gear the same way. Again, clutch in neutral, take a breath, fuel, 4. There's no need to be in a rush on a downshift. So now, why do we use the fuel at all, right? Just to get to the gear, the next gear quicker. So I'm in 4th gear currently. I'm going to go ahead and give it some fuel. And I'm going to listen to the engine, but there's ways to look at the tach, but obviously it's blocking me. So for right now, I want you to hear the engine coming up. I don't know, I don't want it to scream. I just want it to say it's got a little bit of volume to it. Then I'll let off of my fuel, and I'll shift. 1, 2. Let it out, start moving again. Trigger up, ready for my 6th gear. Listen to the engine again. Just give me some. Let off the fuel. 1, 2. Once it's in gear, you notice I'm not in a hurry to jump back on that fuel. Now I get back on my fuel. I'm never in a hurry. I want to be cautious and confident of what I'm doing. Coming around my corner here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift it back up to 7th gear. First, off the fuel. 1, 2. Then back to the fuel. Notice it's not a fast process. You don't need to worry about it. We know torque will carry me. If I have to crawl this truck, I can just remove the fuel. Now, if I want to slow down and downshift because I'm going too fast, I'll give it a little tap on my brake because I have 10 brakes. Then I'm going to hit neutral, take my breath, fuel, 6, nice and smooth. Again, I'm going to upshift, fuel, off the fuel, 1, 2, back to the fuel. Now, when we're starting out on hills and on flats and downhills, we have a different way that we need to work this clutch because gravity is either our friend or our foe. So we'll give you an example of a downhill start out, which is probably one of the easiest. I will tell you that I do not ever really see, at least for myself, I've never started, unless I was real heavy starting on the hill, I don't really ever use 1st or 2nd gear. Occasionally I'll use 3rd. Usually my gear of choice is 4th. You'll find your gear of choice as you become more and more comfortable with starting the vehicle, even under different load restraints. So here's a little downhill that we're at. So I'm going to use my brake first, and then I'm going to push my clutch in and come to a stop. Never let the truck drift more than, maybe just a few feet. It's not needed. I can stop this thing in 9th gear, and I'll give you a quick demonstration on that just to show you. So I'm in 4th gear, and I'm down a hill. So really, I'm facing the way I want gravity to take me anyway. So as the light turns or the vehicles move or my ops, it's starting to move. First thing is I'm just going to let off of the brake. It's already moving that 6 feet as I carry the clutch right to it. Nice and smooth. So there's the issue of going downhill. Now suddenly, let's say something up there is going to stop me. Notice I'm using my 10 brakes. All the way down to hear that rumble, and I'm going to push in the clutch and keep from stalling. I've only drifted just a couple feet, and I'm in 8th gear. Obviously, I'm going to start, put my switch down because this thing activates only when it hits neutral, and I'm going to start out in my start out gear that I choose, which is 4th gear. Now, again, I'm going to come up to field catch, and I'm on a flat ground. So the pressure on your brake doesn't have to be hard, just enough to keep you there. Again, bring it up till you feel catch, release that brake, and just hold that foot still. I don't need you to pull it out and move it. It's going to allow it to do it on its own.